I'm just going to stick them in here since we've already got, I'm going to insert 3 columns here. Okay? And I'm going to leave out, let's look at the data, stat time series plot of the revenue. And it starts at what? Starts at Q1. So Q1 is traditionally low, right? Q1 is a low point. So I'm going to say that Q1 I'm going to leave out. I'm going to start with Q2. Okay? So let's just put in a Q2, Q3, and a Q4. I'm going to leave out Q1. You can do the same if you wish. Is this so? We got zeros here, don't we? Right? Because none of those are Q1s. This is a Q2, isn't it? 6/30 to 2005. So we'll put a 1 there, and it's not a Q2 or Q3 or Q4. 0 here. This is a Q3. See how I'm doing this? Q4 is 0. And then I got a 0, 0. Nice little diagonal, right? 0 is first. Nice little diagonal telling the occurrence of each one of those quarters relative to the actual dates. Does everybody see that?
I don't see how you got that set, or how did you know the 0 at the top?
Well, this is an event. When Q2 occurs, I want it to note every time it occurs. It occurred once, right here. See Q2? See? That's the second quarter of the data. It occurred there. This is an event for Q3. When did that occur? Right here. So I'm creating a time series of that data, just telling you when it appears. That's all I'm doing. The event is the occurrence of that. Now what I can do, did you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what I can do is copy that, Control copy, and I can paste that baby, Control V, down below here. And I can take that whole thing, just to save a little time. Control copy, Control V, and it went all the way to the end, didn't it? Now what I'm going to do is take off this last bit right here. Control X, take that off so that all the data stops. And I'm going to create a forecast for those. Okay. Because it's just a continuation of it, isn't it? Let's get rid of these residuals. Control V. This is Q2 forecast. Q3 forecast. Q4 forecast. Everybody see what I did? And what I'll do is trim it so that they're the same length as the other data series. So I've got 8 observations. You see what I did? I just continued that series on down and let it flow into the forecast. So that these dates should match up. This should be forecast Q1 or Q2. Let's see if it is. Q2 it is. See, it matches up with each of the occurrences. Q1 has got zeros in it, right? Because we took it off. Okay? You just let it flow into the... Now just go ahead and run the model this time. Stat, regression, fit regression model. Okay? And what we want to do is include not only the unemployment retail wages, but we have some, what were they called? Categorical variables. See them? Put them down here. Right? What were they? Q2, Q3, Q4. So we've got 2 continuous variables plus 3 categoricals. See what happens this time. Bang. all of them panned out to be significant, didn't they? You see, all of them seem to be very significant. Q2 is significant, p-value is low. Q3 is significant, Q4 is significant, and there's no multicollinearity. If I had put Q1 in there, it would have been multicollinear with it. So, you see?
Mhm.
So, and to see how much of the model, how much it explains now. 95%. What were we sitting at last time?
83.
83?
Yeah.
Well, we juiced that baby up to explain 95%. Let's get the residual. Well, we got the residuals right here. At least I think we did. Did I say the residuals in our last model? Yeah, I did. So these are the residuals for the model. Let's plot the residuals. Stat time series. Time series plot. Big residuals. Hopefully it's updated. Here's the 0 line. Still got some left, but not much. Looks like there might be some cycles still left in it. But if we compared that to the previous residuals, you'll find it. Let's look at this stat time series autocorrelation function for the residuals. Remember how significant the fourth period was last time? Don't you think we basically eliminated seasonality? What do you think? See, the fourth period spike is kind of small now. It's not significant. So what we did is we created a categorical variable and treated each quarter as a separate event. And you can interpret the coefficients associated with those. Just look at the model itself. And we'll talk about Derwin-Watson later. Oh, it's got the regression expression this way. Here are the coefficients. Q2. There's about a $10 million or $10 billion uplift every time Q2 occurs in the data. Q3 is about a $8.5 billion uplift. And Q4 is about a $7 billion uplift. Okay, and it'll be offset with the downside of Q1. So all those are positives, and Q1 will probably offset it in terms of the monthly average. So you can actually tell the dollar impact associated with seasonality by looking at those coefficients. I'm sorry, I'm standing in the way. I'm not very transparent. I'm never very blunt. My wife tells me I'm not. But anyway, we've got a model, don't we? That explains about 95%. And guess what else we can do? We can create another. Actually, it's not a categorical variable. It's not like a dummy variable with zeros and ones. We can. Do you think we still got trend in the coefficient in the residuals? Where's the time series plot right here? Let's look at those residuals again. I don't think there's much trend in it. There might be a little bit. There's something, if you do have a lot of trend in the residuals when you do a time series plot, that means that, you know, the residuals are what the model is not picking up. Right? That's what this means. If you see a big uplift in residuals, you may have a categorical variable that you need to do some research on which observations have created that uplift or downshift. But this is kind of fluctuating around the zero line fairly well. And we saw that they weren't significant, right? You saw the ACFs, we didn't have significance levels that were high in the error terms. But if you see a trend in the residuals, if this were really sloped up, you can also create another variable. It's called a trend variable. And you don't put this in the categorical side, but you can put it in the other side, you know, your variable list. And all it is a counter. And what I want you to do in this case is start with 1 and just create a number series. All the way through the end there. It starts to say n plus 1. So you get n plus 8. Okay. Now this counter, if you use just a single number series, start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, just create a variable out of nothing but a number series. You can run that counter as a separate variable. Put it in the continuous variable column. Okay? Let's see if we can create one quickly. So you guys can go. And then what we'll do next time is we'll talk about forecasting the regression. This doesn't have significant, but I can create another variable. Let's insert a column here and call this trend. Okay? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think if I grab this little corner here on this variable, whoops, it's not changing. There we go. That's counting down. Come on, baby. Control V. There we go. I created a number series. You see that? And I can create a forecast with a number series too.
Messed up.
Huh?
Looks like it's messed up.
Oh, it's not only the top.
Yeah.
Where's the trend? Oh, I didn't. Sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. Let's clear this up. That's what I get for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go down, grab the corner. Here we go. Make sure you go to the top. So fill it in. Stopped at 25 observations. That's, and we're going to put a forecast over here for it too. Just put it right here. Insert column. Yes. 26, 27, 28. Not doing it. Okay, so now I've got a forecast for it, for trend, and I've got the trend values. Go to stat, time series, or regression, I'm sorry. Or fit regression model. And now I'm going to put up here with the continuous predictors, I'm going to include trend. Okay? You run the model. And this is a problem with trend. If you use it, let's see what our model explains now. See what kind of percentage we're looking at. 97%. It increased it, improved it a little bit. But the trouble with trend is it's liable to, and this happens frequently, it's liable to nuke some of the existing variables that you've got. Trend shows up to be significant, but it's nuking what? Unemployment. Okay? It causes unemployment. It's multicollinear with unemployment. It's multicollinear with retail wages. So I'm not going to use trend. There's not that much trend in residuals, and what it's doing is creating multicollinearity with other trended variables. You guys see that? So I'm not going to use it. So I wouldn't use this model. Okay? Let's go back to regression model. You take the trend out. Okay, so we've got a good model again. We ran it. So the last model you ran, you can do with this, to forecast. Stat, regression, regression. See where it says predict? So the forecasting function is different. It'll use the last model you created with the regression model up the top, and you do predict. And it says it's already filled it in. It says target revenue up there. See it? Now, instead of entering any individual values, you can put in numbers if you want to for the predicted values. But no, we're going to enter some columns. That's why I went to all the trouble of creating those forecast columns, right? So unemployment, where's the unemployment forecast? Right here. Retail wages, where is that? Right here. Q2, where is that? That's Q2 forecast, Q3 forecast, Q4 forecast. And we're going to store predicted fits. Those are the forecasts. I don't care about the standard error that fits. I want the confidence limits around the fit. That's stored. Okay? And the results. I don't want that stored. Confidence level is okay at that. Okay, let's run it. See what we get. And if you look down here, oh, come on. We got this as a result. Okay? I'm going to take this one out, and this one out. I got the P fits. This is a forecast for Y. Has everybody got that? When you see P fits, those are predicted fits. This is Y forecast. That's the target forecast. And you have the lower limit. See limit? Upper limit. And smart people would do this. They would go to graph, time series plot, do a multiple, and they would what? Plot the holdout with the target forecast, lower and upper limits. All right. So the holdout violates forecast in the third observation. Violates it in again at the sixth. Okay? Other than those two periods, it looked pretty good. It stayed within the range. Let's look at, see what it looks like appended to the other data. So this wasn't a great forecast, was it? So let's take this forecast, target forecast, and plot it right next to target revenue. That kind of stinks. Didn't pick up very much in terms of the next period's seasonality, did it? Kind of fell flat. But that period after that, it did well, so. Didn't predict this first seasonal, first, second, third, fourth quarter, second, third, fourth quarter, very well. Okay? Let's see what the error measures are. So we had a relatively high forecast residuals. Oh, you guys have to go. It's time to get out of here. We'll continue this